What's up, everybody? It's Hank here, Smoke Break MMA. Very excited about my guest today. I've watched both of his fights in the UFC, and I definitely did not think 2 or 3 weeks ago that he would not fight in the UFC again. Jose "Shorty" Torres, how are you doing, Jose?
I'm great, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good. It's really cold right here. I'm in Tennessee right now. It's cold and rainy.
I'm in the Middle East, and it's very, very hot.
Yeah, where are you right now?
I'm in the Kingdom of Bahrain, so if people don't know where that is, it's the pearl in the desert. It's right next to Kuwait, right next to Qatar, and in the middle of the ocean. But overall, man, it's a great time over here, and I'm at Braves International Fight Week, commentating for both the IMUF, the World Championships for amateurs, and Brave International Fight Week. They have their event this Friday, so I'll be guest commentating for them as well.
That's crazy as hell. Did they just call you and offer you a chance to commentate?
No, I've been part of the IMUF ever since I was the first ever two-time world champ, 2014, 2015. And from there, transferring over, I go, hey, man, I really want to be an ambassador. And then you see what I've been able to do in Titan FC in short time. At 5 fights, I was two-belt champion and defended one in the process. Eventually 7-0, eventually get into the UFC. Now 8-1, they go, you're the prime example of what we want, all of our amateurs to be and grow into, if not even surpass. And they called me in, and I'm at where I'm at today. So I started working with the IMUF and Brave. I commentated for their very first event. They're having their 18th event here this Friday. So I go, hey, can I at least guest commentate? I know you guys got your crew. I'm not going to mess with it. But let me hop in and let me just show my face and have some fun. And they said, yeah, for sure, man. It'll be an honor. And, I know we're obviously going to talk about the news of flyweight. Immediately when I got my release papers, I started talking to Brave, 1FC, KSW, and we're just expanding and seeing where it goes from here. There's nothing but, room for opportunity, and that's why I'm very, very positive for what's to come.
Yeah, obviously, everybody knows the news. It all started with the Mighty Mouse Ben Askren trade, which I've said on my podcast that horrible trade for the UFC. I mean, you gave up arguably the top. If he's not in your number 1 or number 2, he's for sure number 3, behind maybe GSP, John Jones, or Anderson. But he's in that top list somewhere, Mighty Mouse. And you gave him up for Ben Askren, who respectably is 18-0. He's a great wrestler, but he's kind of a more boring GSP. But first of all, who do you think got the best of that trade? I definitely won, in my opinion. Would you trade, if you're Dana, would you trade Mighty Mouse for Ben?
I mean, 100% it's 1FC got the best deal possible. But overall, again, flyweights, if not small guys, just dominate in Asia. And for the flyweights being there, DJ being there, she's going to bring that much more attention. But you think about it, Ben Askren was retired. So they got a retired fighter. Again, undefeated, a phenomenal athlete, but a retired fighter that wasn't active whatsoever. And 1FC wasn't using him because, once again, he was retired. So whatever the UFC is paying him, it's definitely not worth, booting out the whole flyweight division to give him all that money.
So it kind of started there, and when it happened, when they announced just a couple of weeks probably prior to the trade that, okay, we're getting rid of 125 altogether, and I don't think, has Dana actually come out and said we're getting rid of them, or no? Has Dana actually said that?
I don't believe so. I could be wrong in this one, but he has stated that even from the beginning, he's never enjoyed the flyweight division, so he's always been biased against them. It's just the play of the cards. It just, sadly, it didn't, work in our favor.
It was pretty clear, though, once, the Mighty Mouse trade, and then people started getting cut. My initial thought was, okay, everybody at 125 is just going to move up to 135. It makes sense. You want to keep guys like you. You had 2 fights. You went 1-1. That one win, spectacular win, though. And the second fight, definitely, it was a good fight. A good fight for you. You're exciting style, always going for submission, always looking for knockouts, fight of the nights. You would think that they would want to try to keep you. Did they even mention 135? Did they be like, hey, are you up to going up to 135?
You look at my background. I was the 2-time world champ as an amateur at 35. And I was the Titan FC double A class champ, one of them being at 135, and I defended the belt in the process. So it shows I can compete, but I was never getting the opportunity. And I even openly spoke about it first, going, hey, I would more than be happy to bump up at 35, even those last-minute fights. that I've had the 9-day notice and a 20-day notice in a 2-month span against Jared Brooks and Alex Perez, which I give that as my big excuse for the last fight because again I cut 54 pounds. I'm a flyweight dude. I cut 54 pounds total in 2 months. I shouldn't be doing that at all, and I was cleared and I fought and so be it. But it's the fact of I wasn't respecting the UFC, and I told them I would love to bump up, but they never gave me the opportunity. They completely doubted me immediately after my last fight. They said, "Yeah, we're just basing you on your last performance, so you're released." And they took advantage that I lost, and that's one of the ways out of the contract is that if you lose, they can say, "Hey, we're not interested anymore. You're out." But I had 2 fights left in my contract, and they don't repay you your show money. They don't give you any type of benefit. They're just like, "Hey, thanks for taking those 2 very last-minute fights for us, even though we probably didn't need it, and even though you helped us in a sense save a fight. But here are your papers. Have a good day. Have a good life. Good luck."
It's kind of the dirty side of the business. They don't. So they never even offered. It was never even on the table at 135.
Never even on the table, and that's a bad thing. Again, some of the guys want to stay down at 25, and that's fine. But for me, I was more than happy to. I actually want to stay at 35. When I move to another promotion, my goal is to fight both 25 and 35, and it is the last minute fight, then that's at 35 for sure. But
because you are a big 125er, you are definitely not a small 125er.
I'm just chunky, man. But it's just one of those things that they never gave me an opportunity. It really, for me, I see a little disrespectful because again, I took 2 last minute fights. I believe I did the UFC 2 favors, and then also my record. No one ever in the history of the sport has gotten my resume this fast. So it's the thing of, hey man, can I get a little respect? Like, can I get some type of benefit here? And they never took advantage of it. Look what Titan FC did. They said, hey, we have a 2-time world champ, and they boasted the heck out of me super fast. Again, 3-0, I got my first world championship against legit guys. Again, my 4th fight, the guy was 18-2, and I knocked him out in 86 seconds. So it showed I had talent, but UFC never wanted to use it. They never even gave me a month notice for a fight.
Definitely, and I think that's a waste for them, but I believe somebody will jump on you. You've talked about the second that contract was terminated, you were getting calls and people were contacting you with, commentating promotions and all kinds of other stuff. I firmly believe, just like I'm sure you will, that you will be fighting in a cage somewhere very soon.
I'm hoping to finish negotiations by the end of the week, actually, and I started negotiations literally the day I got released because I saw this coming. I made my own YouTube video about it called, Inside Team Shorty is my YouTube series. And I boasted, it's like, dude, let's look at the bigger picture. DJ's gone, but what about the flyweight division? And it was all speculation. And I called, the matchmaker, and he's like, no, it's not true. And then a couple of days later, they call me back, okay, it is true. And then a couple of days later, they call me back, hey, here are your papers. So it's the fact of, I don't even believe they know what's going on and how they're picking their guys. Right now, the UFC is just picking their favorites, and that's the sad thing is now it's becoming a money sport. And I was in the Ariel Helwani podcast yesterday talking about it, giving it. It seemed a little bit like complaining, but hey, man, that sometimes the truth is complaining. And for me, I talked about WME trying to make their money back. The Brock Lesnar fight. Derek Lewis says his balls get hot, and he gets a title fight, even though he literally stated earlier in that sentence that he did not want to fight for the title. So it's the fact of you got CM Punk fighting. CM Punk made his pro debut in the UFC, the pinnacle of the sport, or what's supposed to be the pinnacle. So it's getting a lot of backlash from it, and I think it's going to keep on going, mainly with the flyweight division and seeing what's next.
So then it gets even stranger. After the trade and the cut, or I don't know what come first, the cuts or the announcement, it was speculated that Henry Cejudo would go up to 135 to face TJ, and they come out and say TJ is going down. So you're getting rid of a weight class. At the same time, TJ could become a 2-weight world champion, which that's their selling point, is TJ could be the 2-weight. It's short term, like you're saying. You're so short term set that if TJ wins, he's 2-weight world champion. But what good is the 2-weight world champion if you're getting rid of one of the divisions?
Yeah, and I said at the Ariel Helwani podcast yesterday is they just want to say he's a 2-weight world champion. That's the biggest thing possible. And, it's so marketable now with Conor McGregor, DC now, and TJ's just become known as the best bantamweight in history. So being a 2-belt champion is going to be even better. And it's a win-win for the UFC. If TJ goes down, wins the belt, he's a 2-belt champion. If Cejudo wins, an automatic rematch, another show fight, show money for a bantamweight title defense now. So it's an automatic win-win, and I think it's gonna be the last night you'll see a flyweight fight. I think it's gonna just go out with a bang.
Was your opinion kind of similar to mine? Was you would thought, well, okay, everybody at 125 would just move up? Like you wouldn't think that they would just let you go. I don't know, John Dodson. There's a whole bunch of 125ers. You would think that they would want to keep you guys. So did you? You know what I'm saying? It seems like they would want to keep you guys rather than okay, everybody gain 10 pounds and we'll keep you.
It's a fact that, like I said earlier, some guys want to fight 25, some guys just don't want to do 35. I mean, you saw when 25 officially opened in the UFC, a lot of people moved down. Justin Benavidez, John Dodson, Mighty Mouse, even though all being very, very dominant at the 35-pound division, they wanted to move down. But it's the fact of, there was three ways I speculated from what I can remember, hopefully, is, you either cut the whole division, you pick a select few, or you do a tournament style. Just saying like, hey, if like, for example, the UFC Denver, there was two sets of flyweights that fought. Maybe the guys who lost are officially cut. I don't know. But it's the fact of, they might be doing that because when I asked how are you guys going to cut people, they were literally just picking and choosing. They never gave, a chance to myself, Jerry Brooks, and Justice Coggins. Justice Coggins is a UFC veteran. The guy's been in the sport. Yeah, he has 3 straight losses. That's fine. His last loss, I thought he won against Saeed. But, the fact is, he's a freaking veteran, and you're just going to cut him like that? That's, again, extremely disrespectful where you don't give us any of a warning. You tell us we're going to fight. Again, I was planning on fighting in December. Then they told me sometime January, maybe sometime early next year. I haven't fought since August. So that's 4-5 months without pay. And now possibly 3 for sure more months without pay, and and we're flyweights. We're not getting much money, so we're getting paid pretty much faster than the average person that works at McDonald's, but we're making pretty much the same amount by the end of the year. So it's not beneficial for a lot of us.
Yeah, what's the ideal weight? Like for you, if they called you and was like, hey, which one's ideal? Is 25 perfect or is 35 perfect or both?
I mean, I prefer 35, but I can easily do both. I know I can't cut down, but at 25, we saw my last fight. I mean, really, my last 2 performances, I need a full training camp to get down. My last 2 performances, 9 days, 26 pounds, 20 days, 28 pounds. It's exhausting, man. I want to focus on a fight instead of focusing on a weight cut. And mainly with all these last-minute medical tests, it was very, very hectic. And, I'm glad I was able to perform at least on one of them. The last one, trust me, no matter who I would have faced, I more than likely would have lost that fight. But it's a case of I can perform at both. I just need a training camp, a full training camp for sure at 25.
And it feels like they never gave 125 a legit chance. Besides Mighty Mouse, there was never real pay-per-view main events. Like I can remember Moreno had main evented one, I think, in Mexico with Pettis. And other than that, Mighty Mouse, and that's about it.
Yeah. And that's it.
You would see like John Dodson versus Pettis, or I'm just using that as an example on the prelims. Like you would see number 2.
Oh, well, you saw, exactly. You saw it was a prime example. Sergio Pettis versus Joseph Benavidez in Chicago. They were the UFC Fight Pass prelims, and whoever would have won, Sergio, for example, if he would have won, he would have fought for the title, but he lost. And that was their cash cow. So it's saddening to hear, but it's part of the sport.
So I'm sure you definitely tuned in for UFC Denver. What's your thoughts on that real quick?
I sadly did not tune in for UFC Denver. I did not because I'm in the Kingdom of Bahrain.
You're a lot literally time difference.
I'm literally 8-hour time difference. So by the time I landed here, the fights were already over, and I was just like, oh, great. And then I see all the highlights, and I'm like, yeah, it's always the UFC events or the events I just overall miss, and I'm like, yeah, it would be the crazy highlights. I love Yair Rodriguez. He's a Mexican fighter. I'm, half Mexican, and I know him, personally, and just the way he was able to get that finish, mainly after what he's been through lately. It's awesome to see.
Is it the greatest knockout ever?
I don't know if it's the greatest knockout ever, but it's the greatest surprise knockout, if you want to say.
Yeah.
In the craziest fashion.
I personally think that Edson Barboza's spinning wheel kick to Terry Edom is number 1, but that's number 2 probably. It's number 2 or 3.
It's definitely up there. It's for sure up there.
I never remember a time in MMA where I was happier than watching Cowboy win. That was, because I got a pair of Cowboy Cerrone signed gloves in my living room. I'm a huge Cowboy fan, and the most wins, the most finishes, and all the controversy with Winklejohn and Jackson, and just that was a huge moment for Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah, it really is good for him. He is a humble guy. I remember going out to eat with him, and he literally, there was 30 people with us, and he paid for all of us. He's a very generous person. I mean, that guy is just really one of the nicest people I've ever met.
And I would, he said at the end, tell Khabib Cowboy's back. There's a lot of people that say that. Cowboy is, I kind of believe him, if Cowboy gets strict, and I'm not saying he beats Khabib, because I don't think anybody beats Khabib at 155, but
yeah.
If Cowboy gets strict, gets in good shape, fights hard, and doesn't, now that he's got his son, and he's talking about fighting for his son and his family, I believe Cowboy can really cause some mayhem up in that 155 if he's dedicated.
Well, mainly, yeah, he's dedicated, and it's really towards the end of his career, so it's his final run. Being able to end on a high note, even if he does fail, it's just, it's going to be really, really awesome to see, and I'm excited to see who he fights next.
Definitely, man. I appreciate you coming on so much and taking the time out of your busy schedule. I see your Ariel Helwani interview. Shout out, Ariel, the best in the game. And you said you were commentated 20-something fights or something like that.
Yeah, I commentated. So yesterday was about 20 to 22. Today was 25. And tomorrow will be around 20 again. And then it'll pretty much slim down, but it'll pretty much be around 20 every single day. And then the finals day, I don't know how many weight classes we have and how many competitors, because we do have both a juniors division, kind of like the novice amateurs, and then the senior division, the experienced amateurs. So just doing that, there's so many matches to commentate, but I'm excited. And I'm doing it like a VMA version of the IMUF award ceremony. So I'll be giving out awards. I'll be having fun, telling jokes, reading the script, doing my thing. So, trying to expand myself a little bit.
Can we watch it on YouTube, or is it on, will it be a live stream on YouTube or something?
So the award ceremony, I don't believe so, but I know the fights, if people ever want to tune in on them, they're IMMAFED.TV, and pretty much you get to watch live. I don't know if it's a free streaming service or you have to pay for it, but overall, I mean, you're watching four MMA cages at once. You pick what cage you want to fight, watch. And it really is phenomenal. Again, these guys are trying to follow my path and even surpass me, which I really hope a lot of them do. But, man, some of these guys just competing. I'm like, I don't even do those moves. I don't even do this. You're an amateur? Good for you. I was laughing yesterday because some heavyweight was bouncing like he was Lomachenko and moving literally in the same exact steps. And I'm like, who is this guy? This is his first year competing. This is amazing. So, I was like, I don't even do this. I'm the flat-footed Mexican fighter that likes to brawl. So, overall, it's exciting to see.
It's almost better for you. Like they say, a fighter, when they step back and coach, they learn more about themselves. Almost like if you step back and commentate, by commentating, you're learning more about MMA and strikes and the whole everything. You could almost just kind of watch it and get better in a sense.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
But I appreciate your time so much, man, and I will definitely hit you up soon.
I appreciate it, man. Take care of yourself.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Jose Shorty Torres. It's really crazy that the UFC let him go. I think it's weird that they didn't at least offer him to go to 135. He's exciting. He brings it. Striking, grappling. He's aggressive. I mean, very, very interesting and entertaining fighter. Why would you not at least offer him to move up to 135? Strange. But thank you all for listening. I'm Hank with Break MMA. I hope you guys enjoy this episode with Jose Shorty Torres. See you guys.